Right about now, you're about to be possessed by the sounds.
Uh-huh. That's right, baby. I know what it is.
You little suckers, get the talking, grabbing our walking, strapped to the pong, getting toes and smacking it.
Welcome back to the second segment of the Shakeback Sports Show, right here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. It's your boy Willie Epting Jr. Checking in, baby, live, loud, and in color. What is going on out there, everybody? Thank you for checking us out on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram TV. I see you guys out there checking us out, and of course, Twitter. Yes, sir. To the dopest engineer on the planet, Big Dave. What is going on, sports fans all over the planet? You already know what it is, man. Let us go ahead and get this thing rolling further. This second segment, it is being brought to you by Lakecrest Casino and Resort. Man, are you looking for an exciting and relaxing getaway where you can play all day and escape the tedious grind of life? Then plan your getaway today at Lakecrest Casino and Hotel, Ardmore's premier gaming destination. Let the winning begin. Featuring more than 1,000 of the latest games, plus an array of amenities, including an incredible restaurant, exceptional retail experiences, and a resort-style pool. Even if you can swim, or even if you can't swim, like me, Lakecrest offers everything you need for an unforgettable experience, an unforgettable escape, and a winning experience. Book your stay today and go all in on one of the area's most exciting destinations, Lakecrest Casino and Hotel. Just go to lakecrestcasino.com. Again, that is lakecrestcasino.com. All right, Big Day. Just in case you guys missed it in the first segment, yeah, Brock Purdy, he has the bag. He is the newest $50 million a year man in the NFL. Not bad for a person that was we talk about the first overall pick. Well, how about the last overall pick? Now making more than 50 M's a year. Congratulations to him. And I'm just of the opinion that the San Francisco 49ers, their window, in my humble opinion, may be closing, because we know what happens after a quarterback is signed to a mega deal like this, and you just never know. So congratulations to him and good luck to the 49ers. Okay, we're going to get to the NFL schedule release here in just a moment, particularly, or specifically rather, the Las Vegas Raiders. And what I don't understand is how a last place team that finished with 4 wins and 13 losses can have a top tier in the NFL toughest schedule when you have teams like the Dallas Cowboys and others that have more wins than we did, but have an easier schedule. Or even for that matter, the New York Giants, who actually have the toughest schedule in the NFL, and we know what they did last year. So I don't get it. I just don't understand. But anyway, we're going to get to that here in just a second. We got to get to this portion of the show that, to me, I talked about it on the hashtag Brothers Baseball Show Monday through Friday with Anna, Mike, and your boy. Talked about this. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I did. It was on last episode. We got a new episode coming up here real soon. But anyway, this involves Lily Gaddis, and what she said on a playground. I'm just gonna let Pierce Morgan dive into this and tell you guys what the heck happened, and I'm gonna react to it here in just a second. Here we go.
Why would you want to support a white racist?
Because I want to support free speech, and you cannot have free speech in the country.
No, that's fine. You can support free speech, but you also have to be accountable for what you say. Would you use the N-word out of interest?
Yes.
You would?
Mm-hmm. I do, quite frequently.
You use the N-word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist. Are you?
Some would say I am. I guess according to the ADL, I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, well, if you use the N word repeatedly, you are a racist, then, are you? Are you?
Sure, I'll embrace that. If that means forwarding, helping white people achieve freedom of speech, real freedom of speech, which, by the way, Shiloh Hendricks is being attacked on all fronts. They're trying to bring legal charges against her. They're trying to get her children taken away. So you were saying Carmelo Anthony, it doesn't matter. That's a different.
Sorry, but just to be
thing.
clear, you just said to me you use the N word regularly. In what context?
Right.
Do you use it with black people?
Yes, if it's appropriate.
When would it be appropriate to use the N word? When would it be appropriate?
Anytime I feel like it.
So you're an unashamed racist.
Correct.
Oh, well, do you understand that makes you a despicable human being?
Wow.
I guess so. I don't really care. I mean, why are we not talking about Shiloh Hendricks? Why are we talking about?
Well, actually, I think you've moved it on in this debate very quickly to your own racism, which explains why you've supported her in public and why you've got all these views. You see no problem with a woman shrieking the N-word repeatedly because you yourself are a despicable racist, and you've just proudly admitted that with a smug grin on your face.
Okay, enough is enough. I can't take any more of that. Let me react or respond as genuinely as I can without getting the BGC Sports Network shut down across all of the outlets out there that is in charge of things like this. This is what I'm going to say. America, tell me now that racism no longer exists. I'm asking you to please tell me now that racism no longer exists. This is 2025, and this lady has openly said, yeah, I'm a racist. So I need for everybody out there that has come at me in my comments or added me on Twitter or wherever, I need you to explain to me now what your rationale is as to why, or even your evidence as to why you say racism no longer exists. I'll wait, because you can't. You can't, you won't, and as long as people like this have this ideology and people that agree with this ideology, you will never be able to tell me ever again that racism no longer exists in this country. Not that you could tell me before this, but I'm talking to the ones that said, Willie, there is no more racism because that was so long ago. Well, prove it. This happened just a couple of weeks ago. And you can't say to me, well, one bad apple doesn't destroy the whole bunch. Okay, I'm glad you said that, or I'm glad that you may be thinking that, because I'm gonna retort that with this. This particular lady has raised more than $700,000. $700,000. So if racism no longer exists, why do you have the Ku Klux Klan still walking around? Why do you have the Proud Boys still walking around? Even after they were convicted of felonious crimes and pardoned, how can you tell me that no longer is racism an issue? You can't. You will never be able to. And if you continue to say that it doesn't exist, then you are either racist yourself or you are complicit. Because Martin Luther King once said, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And I'm paraphrasing, of course. Or threat to injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. There's no way that you cannot, there's no way that you can discount or say that it does not exist. I just gave you the proof. So now what are you going to do about it? Now what are you going to do about it? Are you going to continue to say that? Or are you going to get on the right side of history? But you know what? I'm not even sure there is a right side of history. You know why? Because this is the history of this country. That's what it is. I'm done. Okay. The Raiders' schedule is out. And of course, the schedule release was over myriad of platforms this past week. But, you know, we only care about the Raiders here, or for the purposes of this conversation, right? So let me just go ahead and do this, put this up on the screen because I want to discuss the Raiders schedule. And of course, we welcome your comments, of course. So don't pay attention to the one that I'm circling right here. That's from last year. That's January 5th, the last game of the 2024 season. But look what we have. We have a road game at the Patriots. We have home to the Chargers. We have a road game in Washington, home to the Bears, road game to the Colts, home to the Titans, road to Kansas City, home to the Jaguars, and so forth and so on. My question to you guys is this: why don't the Raiders have back-to-back home games? Why don't the Raiders have a schedule that is reflective of where the team finished last season? And I just want to go through this even further. Road, home, home. Okay, so we have two back-to-back home games, but it's not until November 17th when the Cowboys go to Vegas and the Browns go to Vegas. And then you have road again, road, home, and then home. So the Raiders have two sets of back-to-back games, and they are so late in the season that at that point, it may not even matter. Now, I will say this. I do love the fact that we have made all these changes. We have Pete Carroll. We have his physical style of defense, particularly with the corners that love to get up and be physical, Richard Sherman and the rest. We have Geno Smith. We have Ashton Genty. And we have Brock Bowers, and we have Jacoby Myers, and we have Trey Tucker, so forth and so on. I think Michael Myers is going to have a breakout season. So we do know that there has been improvements, vast improvements made across the entire roster, right? So let's look at this schedule a little bit deeper. I'm not in the business of predicting wins and losses. I think that's kind of corny, but it does give people something to talk about. But let's look at the quarterbacks that the Raiders are going to have to face. Okay, we already know Patrick Mahomes twice, Justin Herbert twice, Bo Nix twice. Bo Nix and all three of these quarterbacks, guess what they did? They went to the playoffs last year. All right. So then you have Jaden Daniels, last year's Rookie of the Year. You have the number 1 overall pick in Cam Ward with the Titans. You have another number 1 overall pick with Trevor Lawrence in the Jaguars. You have Dak Prescott, who is arguably one of the better regular season quarterbacks in the last 10 years, right? So, and then you have CJ Stroud, the number 2 overall pick a few years ago. And then you have Russell Wilson and the Pete Carroll face-off, the revenge versus revolt game in week 17. The Raiders, even though the Raiders have improved, even on defense. Now, I understand that we lost Robert Spillane, we lost Nate Haas, we lost I forgot the safety's name, Trayvon Moore. He's in Carolina. Nate Haas is in Green Bay, and Robert Spillane is in New England. This schedule is tough. And if you held a gun to my head and said, Willie, predict the amount of wins that you see the Raiders getting based on this schedule and based on what we know, I'm not very confident, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not. As a matter of fact, let's just go through this. I could see us winning in New England, but then coming home to the Chargers and then on the road in Washington. That is 2 out of the first 3 games on the East Coast with a 10 o'clock a.m. kickoff Vegas time. I'm not confident at all. I'm not. And then we go to the Indianapolis Colts, another early kickoff. I don't like this schedule whatsoever. I'm telling you right now. And maybe it's me as a Raider fan and all of the heartache that we've had to endure. But yo, I'm just like, it's gonna be another one of those years, and I'm hopelessly optimistic, but cautiously optimistic as well. So it's like, what's gonna happen? I don't know. But I will tell you this: some of the games that I am looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the Cowboy game on November the 17th. And the reason why that is because of, as you all know, Big Day is a Cowboy fan. There are a lot of Cowboy fans on this network. I am based in the Dallas area. And it would be if we win one game all year, okay? No, actually, I would like to see us win 2 games because a show showing up divided would be on fire if the Raiders beat the Chiefs, and then my tirade against Cowboy fans immediately following the game on the 17th, which actually is a prime time game. My tirade will be so epic that I may have to retire from this business afterwards. That is what I'm talking about. What up, Raider Reaper? I see you out there. Just win, baby. Hey, man, tell me what you think about this schedule, bro. Because I'm like, I think the NFL has reached into the grave of Al Davis and gave him the middle finger once again with this schedule. That's just my opinion on it. So, tell me what you think, Raider Reaper, and I'll shout you out on the show, of course. So again, 2-15 with the win against the Cowboys and again a win against the Chiefs. I might venture to say that I would be satisfied if that happens. I'm just not very optimistic and not very confident. So that is what it is. A couple other games of note throughout the NFL. Of course, the Cowboys will be going to Philadelphia to play the Eagles on opening night. That means we get to watch the Cowboys get destroyed by the defending champions, and all that talk from the Dallas Cowboys and their fans about them being, well, we got George Pickens now. So what? So what? George Pickens is a headache in itself. If you can't play and thrive under Mike Tomlin, and you're going to come to Dallas and be under Brian Schottenheimer, who is known to be a run first like dude as far as coaching, dude, it could be a cancerous cell manifesting and metastasizing as we speak. And I don't even know if I said that right, but I just like the way it sounds. And speaking of sounds, come on back on the other side of the break. We're going to get to the NBA because the Knicks did something to the Celtics that they've never done before in their entire lives. The Shake Back Sports Show, BGC Sports Network, Willie Epstein Jr., y'all come back and holler at us.